From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, November 7th. Going to be another warm day today, a little bit cooler than yesterday, but still well above normal. Partly cloudy skies, highs mid to upper 60s. It is worth noting, according to our Storm Track 8 weather team, that Tuesday, November 7th, the record from this day was 76 degrees from 1915. So we shouldn't reach that, but and also winds won't be anywhere close to what we had yesterday. So just a more comfortable day overall. Marcus Bailey and Ryan Morris say today should be the best day of the week, in fact. And to your vote 2023, it is Decision Day in Indiana and across the nation as voters head to the polls. First, know your polling place. Find it before heading out. Don't forget your photo ID. It could be U.S. passport, military ID, veteran's ID, driver's license. A student ID from an Indiana state school may only be used, however, for a student ID from a private institution may not be used for voting purposes. It's got to be from an Indiana state school. Pay attention at your polling place. Follow the signs for voting machines. Know your rights, provisional ballots, and instructions for filing a complaint if your rights you feel have been violated. Both Jefferson Shreve and incumbent Joe Hogsett cast their votes for mayor this morning as they have been going to the last second campaigning. Both are campaigning on issues like public safety, infrastructure, affordable housing. Hogsett's 2024 budget increased funding for IMPD to $323 million to recruit more officers and raise their salaries. He also wants to ban permitless carry and assault weapons in Indianapolis, something Shreve has agreed with. Both candidates made their final campaign pushes outside the city-county building yesterday. If elected, Shreve would be the first Republican to become mayor since Greg Ballard won a second term in 2011. Hogsett is running for his third straight term. We're also following several other mayoral races in central Indiana. In Carmel, Republican Sue Finkham is taking on Democrat Miles Nelson. The winner will serve as the first new mayor since Jim Brainerd took office in 1996. Voters in Lawrence, Greenfield, and Beech Grove are also electing mayors today. Indigo is providing free bus rides all day long to make sure people can get to the polls. Indigo says it's part of an effort to help everybody perform their civic duty. Fares will be free on both fixed routes and the Indigo Access services. Polls close at 6 this evening, then results start rolling in. We will have you covered through all of it, starting on daybreak and throughout the day and evening on Wish TV, wishtv.com, and tune in tomorrow morning on Daybreak 2 for those results. And in other news, new flames overnight forced Indianapolis firefighters to return to the scene of a fire Monday. The first fire happened early last night at the South Meridian Court Apartments near Hannah and Meridian. Firefighters say a woman and her son heard a loud pop, then their stove caught fire. The flames forced 7 people out. Firefighters returned then overnight, but haven't released any details about the new run, whether it's a flare-up from the first or a different fire entirely. No one was hurt in either fire. To I-Team 8 and the Delphi murders case, Richard Allen wants the Indiana Supreme Court to step in and reinstate his original defense team. Allen's attorneys filed their latest request yesterday morning. The motion asks justices to reappoint Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rozzi to the defense. Judge Francis Gold removed both last month after a catastrophic leak of crime scene photos and documents. As we've reported here on News 8, Allen's team also wants Gold removed from the case. All parties have until November 16th to file objections. Allen's accused in the 2017 murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. The trial is now scheduled to start next October. Indianapolis is set to host a major crime summit from the U.S. Department of Justice. Officials say 1,500 people will attend from local and federal agencies. The list includes representative communities in the National Public Safety Partnership and Project Safe Neighborhoods. The Justice Department says the goal is to identify the most pressing violent crime problems and develop comprehensive solutions. The summit is December 11th through the 13th. And to the Pacers, an offensive onslaught highlights a milestone win for head coach Rick Carlisle. The Pacers welcomed rookie sensation Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs to Gainbridge Fieldhouse last night. The Pacers offense got going early, tying a team record with 86 points in the first half. The highlight of the night, however, comes from the defense with a big block from Isaiah Jackson on Wembanyama. He was trying to dunk it, and boy, Jackson just threw down. Then Buddy Hield went down court and swished a three-pointer. It's pretty amazing. Pacers tie a team record with 152 points in the win, and it earned Carlisle his 900th career victory. He is just now the 14th coach in league history to accomplish that. And construction is ready to start on the new home for the Pacers G League team. The team and leaders from Noblesville broke ground Monday on the new Noblesville Event Center. It's just north of Oleo Road overpass for I-69. The arena plans call for 120,000 square feet of space and 3,400 seats. Noblesville's mayor says the center will be a key feature of a stretch known as Innovation Mile. The timeline calls for the center to open in time for the 2025-26 G League season. The G League team is moving from Fort Wayne, keeping the nickname Mad Ants for now. The plan is to choose a new mascot next year. And a big blowout for the Boilermakers as the Purdue men start their season. Ahead of the game against Samford, Purdue unveiled 2 banners for winning the Big Ten regular season and tournament titles. The opening tip gave an indication of just how lopsided the game would be. Zach Edey at 7'4" lined up against 5'8" guard Dallas Graziani. Purdue won the tip, and then the game 98-45. The CDC is expanding infectious disease surveillance programs in 4 major airports. The program takes nasal swabs from volunteers and analyzes wastewater. It started during the pandemic and was limited to COVID. The CDC now says it's testing for more than 30 pathogens, including the flu and RSV. The airports are in Boston, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and New York. 3.5 hours on the witness stand saw contentious testimony from former President Donald Trump. As he left the courtroom Monday, he gave a lips-sealed gesture, likely in reference to the gag order aimed at preventing him from talking about the case publicly. In court, Trump called New York's Attorney General a fraud and a political hack and claimed the judge in the case is biased. The judge told Trump's attorney to control Trump, saying, "This is not a political rally." AG Letitia James says the former president and his company inflated property values and deceived banks and insurers.
It's a scam, and this is a case that should have never been brought.
The only thing that matters are the facts and the numbers. And numbers, my friends, don't lie.
The judge has already ruled that Trump committed fraud by inflating his financial statements, putting the control of Trump Tower and other properties into question. The case is not in court today due to the election. The trial resumes tomorrow with testimony from Trump's daughter, Ivanka. A book publisher is suing former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. All Seasons Press filed a breach of contract lawsuit Friday in Florida. The suit claims statements made in the book The Chief's Chief contradict media reports that Meadows knew Trump had lost the election. The publisher wants Meadows to return the $350,000 advance he was given and pay more than $1 million in damages. And today marks 1 month since Hamas's deadly attacks began on Israel. People gathered for a candlelight vigil in Tel Aviv yesterday to remember the 1,400 people killed and the more than 200 hostages held by Hamas right now. The Israel Defense Forces said yesterday it struck hundreds of Hamas targets and took control of a military compound in Gaza within 24 hours. Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 10,000 people have died in Gaza since Israel launched its military offensive. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ruled out a ceasefire without the release of hostages. He now says Israel will have an overall security responsibility in Gaza after the war. And to business headlines. A report from the National Institute of Retirement Security found that Gen X is woefully unprepared for retirement. Gen Xers lost significant net worth due to the Great Recession and are also burdened with student loans, inflation, and other debt. However, Gen X is increasing retirement savings now, and government programs could provide extra help. A business professor says young people who work remotely are probably not going to become corporate CEOs. NYU professor Susie Welch also says those who adopt this mindset are unlikely to ever make as much money as their peers. Summer extremes hit farms all across the United States from California, north to Minnesota, and east to Mississippi. The impact hurt both farmers and U.S. consumers. It's especially hurt cotton and peanut crops that are grown in the South. Netflix is bringing in the holidays with another price increase. The new prices bring the standard plan with ads to $6.99 a month, the standard plan without ads to $15.49 a month, and the premium plan hops to $22.99 a month. The average American will visit 5 different houses for the holidays this year. Conducted by one poll on behalf of Chinet, the survey found that, surprisingly, nearly 2/3 of those surveyed wish they were visiting others even more often. Most commonly, Americans will be attending Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas parties or dinners and New Year's Eve parties. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.